Night Fever, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Dreams. All fantastic 70s songs, but all songs we've heard a million times.
Listen carefully.
Whether in the comfort of our own homes or endlessly on classic rock radio.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, listen to this song. I love this song.
But 70s music is so much more than these classics. I've crunched the numbers, and I'm pretty sure that somewhere between 150 songs and 16 billion songs were released in the decade, which makes it almost certain that there were some fantastic songs that slipped through the net and you've never heard.
Never heard of them. Never!
Welcome, I am Nostalgic Nick with Do You Remember? And today we're gonna be looking at some secret bangers. Whether African psychedelia or Southern soul, these songs are guaranteed to blow your mind. If you enjoy our playlist, please hit that thumbs up. And make sure you're subscribed to our channel so you don't get left behind. But now, come on and let's take a deep dive. Link Wray, La Di Da. If people remember guitar legend Link Wray at all these days, it's most likely for the 1958 song Rumble, one of the first intentional uses of distortion in rock and roll that helped pave the way for everything from punk to thrash metal. But far fewer people have heard any of his eponymous 1971 album, which is a crying shame, because the Americana-infused masterpiece is filled with banger after banger, with the pick of the bunch being La Di Da. A few questioning piano notes quickly give way to an irresistible thumping melody that lifts you up in a swarm of good feeling and just carries you along with it till you can't help but smile. All Link Wray wants us to do is party, and it is almost impossible not to do that with La Di Da. Give it a listen and then continue with that whole dang album. Odetta, hit or miss? Odetta Holmes, or just Odetta, has been called the voice of the civil rights movement, whose powerful folk ballads of the 50s and 60s influenced everyone from Bob Dylan to Mavis Staples. But Odetta didn't just stop making music as the folk protest movement came to an end. Nope, her sound evolved, and in 1970, she released Odetta Sings, simply a phenomenal soul album containing the exceptional Hit or Miss. Featuring her trademark powerful vocals, Odetta pours her heart and, yes, soul into this song.
Just like this, I gotta be me.
About not caring about what others want you to be and just being who you are. Or in today's parlance, letting your freak flag fly. A soul singer of the highest caliber, and yet today, Odetta is remembered mainly for her earlier work, which, of course, it is still fantastic. I believe it is equaled or even bettered by this incredible song, Hit or Miss. Sparks. #1 song in heaven. Sparks might be the most influential band that many people will have never heard of, with acts ranging from New Order to Sonic Youth, the Red Hot Chili Peppers to the Sex Pistols, all claiming them as a major influence. And in 1979, they teamed with legendary electronic producer Giorgio Moroder to release this phenomenal single #1 song in heaven. The song is a 7.5-minute electronic opus, with a relatively staid opening half with ethereal vocals and a methodical beat slowly petering out to nothing, with the uninitiated thinking the song is over. But then, all at once, it comes blasting back at what seems like twice the speed, and think that this might actually be the song that greets you at the pearly gates. Seriously, the song is special. And Peebles, I Can't Stand the Rain. Etta James, Aretha Franklin, and Peebles. If one of those seems out of place or even unknown, then that's a crying shame, because Ann Peebles deserves to be listed among soul singer royalty. Just go listen to her 1974 single I Can't Stand the Rain. Written and recorded in just one night, the song begins with the newly invented electronic timbal, eerily recreating the sound of rain pitter-pattering down.
I can't stand the rain.
It then swells to full majesty as Peebles laments how the rain brings back sad memories of a past lover. Truly a soul classic, and a song that John Lennon described as the best song ever. But honestly, what did that guy know about songwriting? So you should probably never listen to I Can't Stand the Rain. I'm joking, please listen to it today. Amanaz, Kala My Friend. And now, on to the next song, Kala My Friend, by the Zambian band Amanaz.
Kala My Friend.
And you can be forgiven for saying, what, who? Because until recently, Americans have had little access to the fantastic music coming out of Africa. So I'm sure almost no one has heard of Amanaz, whose name is an anagram of Ask Me About Nice Artistes in Zambia. The band perfectly blends late 60s rock with Zambian sensibilities. It's easy to put Kala My Friend on and float away in a sea of tranquility, convinced that maybe everything in this world isn't that messed up after all. Seriously, if you need to feel at peace, give this song a play. Rodriguez, Cuz. It's been said that in the early 70s, the only person writing music like singer-songwriter Rodriguez was a little guy named Bob Dylan, which makes it crazy that until the release of 2012's Oscar-winning documentary, Searching for Sugarman, people in his home country, the US, were mostly completely oblivious to this genius. Which blows, because Rodriguez was ridiculous. Take the hauntingly moving 1971 song Cuz, for example. From the opening line, "'Cause I lost my job 2 weeks before Christmas," he spins the tale of a man unmoored from society, alone in the world, and bursting with loneliness.
And the clerk there said that they had just been invaded.
Yep. Moving, heartbreaking poetry that never got a fair shake in the States. But hey, at least Rodriguez has sold more records in South Africa than Elvis. I'm glad somebody was in the know. Brian Eno, Needles in the Camel's Eye. Brian Eno is best known as a former member of Roxy Music, frequent collaborator with David Byrne and David Bowie, but the man also made some fabulous music by himself. And honestly, he may have hit his peak with his first solo album's first track, the timeless Needles in the Camel's Eye. Seriously, the first time you hear it, the track could be from any decade. It borrows a lot from the 70s glam rock Eno was steeped in, but it wouldn't be out of place on a new wave record from the 80s. But whatever decade sprang to mind when you first heard Needles in the Camel's Eye, there's simply no doubt the song is an absolute classic. William Onyeabor, Fantastic Man. Ever heard of any of William Onyeabor's music? Can you name any songs? Well, probably not. Which isn't surprising because the self-made millionaire and tribal chief self-released all of his albums before becoming a born-again Christian in the 1980s and refusing to make or talk about music ever again. Which truly sucks because the man just made flat-out awesome stuff in the late 1970s of Nigeria. And today, I'm talking about Fantastic Man. From the opening notes of this absolute banger of a song, it is simply impossible to resist. I dare you to try and not shake your booty as soon as that synthesizer starts rocking your world. Even the several minute-long solo tucked in the middle just flies by. Truly, this song funks, and so will you when you blast it at your next shindig. Swamp Dogg, Synthetic World. In 1970, soul singer Jerry Williams Jr. dropped acid and soon after adopted a new persona, Swamp Dogg, so that he could sing about anything he wanted without constraint from overbearing record companies, and soon released one of the absolute best songs of the decade, Synthetic World.
They found
first listen, the single just sounds like a standard soul hit, albeit one of rare quality, with a groove as smooth as a baby's bare bottom. And then you listen to the words, and realize Swamp Dogg is not singing about love or loss, but instead about being isolated and unhappy with the phoniness of modern life, which is generally not a topic broached by soul singers back then. The acid must have really done a number on him, much to our benefit. Big Star, September Girls. Throw September Girls on the stereo, and the question of why Big Star, one of the most influential cult bands of all time, didn't become massive stars won't stop eating away at you. Quick sidebar, the answer is poor distribution and worse marketing. But really, September Girls is power pop at its absolute best.
Walk you home from school.
A catchy as hell love song with excellent musicianship that should have been a monster hit in any era it was released in. Instead, mired on an album that, while a critical darling, never sold more than 20,000 copies. I mean, even if Girls is spelled atrociously. Chris Spedding. Video Life. Chris Spedding, famed session guitarist for Elton John, Brian Eno, Paul McCartney, etc., and producer of the Sex Pistols' Lone album, wasn't exactly a musical slouch himself. He released over 14 solo albums in his under-celebrated career, but nothing hits like the heights of this 1978 song, Video Life. An atmospheric journey with very little form. Spedding's song instead relies upon a certain simplicity to lull you into a trance where the past is the future, and the future doesn't matter. Repetition has a tendency to be boring, but Spedding is so tender, and the repeated couple of chords are a weird combination of plaintive and hopeful that I think you can even have Video Life on repeat, no problem. Funkadelic. Can you get to that? Now, this next song might be the most popular and widely listened to song on this list, but it makes it by virtue of the fact that it is just so freaking good, that even its low level of popularity just isn't nearly enough. Because everyone should be listening to Funkadelic's 1971 smash, Can You Get to That, every day. A powerful blend of funk, psychedelic rock, soul, and straight-up awesomeness. The song ping-pongs from deepest baritone to falsetto with ease, all over the background of a hammering beat that seems to be in no hurry to get anywhere fast. And after just a couple listens, most people will answer emphatically, yes, I can get to that. Bobby Charles. Small Town Talk. I don't think many people have heard of Bobby Charles, which is unfortunate, because his eponymous 1972 album, and especially the song Small Town Talk,
We're only two people trying to live together.
A lethargic, easygoing ditty, Small Town Talk evokes nothing more than walking down Main Street on a warm summer's day in no-name America, when you have nowhere to be and no one to see, and makes me want to go lie in a hammock right now. Next time you have nothing to do and just want to float away, Bobby Charles wouldn't be the worst thing you could throw on for your day. Ofege. It's not easy. And now we return to that vast well that is African rock, and that Americans sadly know very little about, because a group of teens in Nigeria released a psychedelic masterpiece in the early 1970s. Ofege, French military slang for going AWOL, were just 3 high schoolers sneaking out of school to go to auditions when they cut the classic track It's Not Easy in 1973. And man, what a track this is. Borrowing liberally from late 60s psychedelia, Ofege's song is a wonderfully upbeat love song that ends with the refrain, "I want to lose my mind every day," on repeat. And the song wouldn't feel out of place in San Francisco 5 years earlier. Seriously, just go listen to it. Moondog, High on a Rocky Ledge. How can you describe the man known as Moondog? A blind artist who invented his own instruments, influenced everyone from Philip Glass to Charlie Parker to Frank Zappa, and who appeared for years on 6th Avenue with long white hair and a massive Viking helmet, just playing music on the street. Mystic, genius, hermit? Welp, listen to High on a Rocky Ledge and you won't care anymore about labels or boxes.
High on a rocky ledge.
Because that song is one of the most hauntingly beautiful pieces of music ever to be written. It transcends pop music and is the closest thing to a hymn that the famously irreligious Moondog was ever to write. If you ever find yourself marveling over the stunning beauty of nature, please put High on a Rocky Ledge on, and you'll know you are not alone. Alessi Brothers, Seabird. When you first listen to the Alessi Brothers' 1976 song Seabird, your first reaction might be, ugh, 70s pop schmaltz. And you'd be right. I mean, the whole song is a ridiculous analogy where the brothers compare their absent lover to a seabird that's been away from the land too long. But then you realize, hey, I've been absent-mindedly humming the song for hours now. And then you understand something. Seabird is the absolute perfect encapsulation of dumb 70s pop songs. It seriously is pretty extraordinary in its own right. And it kinda blows my mind that this song did not blow up.
Like an unwound clock, I just don't seem to care.
Especially since the identical twins who sing it look like two Italian Calvin Klein models. Nick Lowe. I love the sound of breaking glass. Speaking of absolutely perfect pop songs with no underlying deepness at all, let's move on to Nick Lowe's 1978 semi-hit. I love the sound of breaking glass, an upbeat, fun, good time from start to finish that sounds like I Want Candy sung by Phil Collins. There are no significant metaphors hiding behind all that broken glass. In Lowe's own words, people ask me for that sometimes and I just don't do it. It's a really good record, but there's not actually any song there. It was a half-baked idea I had when I went to the studio, and the bass player and drummer sort of put a little sauce in it.
Nothing new, sound of breaking glass.
Half-baked with a little sauce sounds like an absolute jam to me. Darondo, Didn't I? In the song Didn't I, singer Darondo released a soul song matched only in its soaring vocal power by how unpopular it was with the general public. Despite Darondo's vocal virtuosity, and I dare you to listen to this song and not be blown away, the record sold only 35,000 copies, mostly in the Bay Area, where the singer was a local celebrity due to his propensity to drive a white Rolls Royce and wear a white fur coat with snakeskin shoes. Yep, baller. Fortunately, Didn't I has recently been rediscovered due to the effort of London DJ Giles Peterson. It's also been featured on episodes of Breaking Bad and The Deuce, which is awesome because the song absolutely drips with swagger. Buchanan Brothers, Son of a Lovin' Man. Leave it to Quentin Tarantino to pluck a song from obscurity and put it on the map, because the Buchanan Brothers' second most streamed song on Spotify currently has 80,000 plays. While, since Son of a Lovin' Man was featured in the film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it has shot all the way up to 7 million. Which is completely deserved, because songs rarely perfectly encapsulate an era as much as Son of a Lovin' Man does the early 70s.
You know I love you much better than anybody would.
The The tale of a Lothario who learned all the wrong lessons from his ladies' man of a father, set over a beat both pulsating and easy going at the same time. So thanks Quentin for getting more people to listen to this absolute classic. Ian Dury, Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. And lastly, we of course have to make room for the perfect encapsulation of the ethos of rock and roll, but especially 70s rock and roll. I mean, the opening line of Ian Dury's 1977 single, Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, says it all. Sex and drugs and rock and roll is all my brain and body need.
Keep your silly ways or throw them out the window.
The song is an ode to excess of the rock lifestyle, and Dury's song is an absolute blast of a time, treading the fine line between punk and new wave. The song's pulsating guitar is relentless and makes you start to truly believe that maybe love, affection, even food and water are completely unnecessary for a truly happy life. Alright, the list is over, but I wish it would continue. Those were our 20 of the best 1970s songs you've 100% never ever heard. Or maybe you have. So hey, get in the comment section and tell us which ones you've heard. Hopefully we did uncover a great song you never heard before. But if you have some other suggestions, get in the comment section and let us know. Man, I'd love to make a round 2. If you enjoyed our playlist today, please hit that thumbs up icon for us. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss a memory. But most importantly, from all of us here at Do You Remember, we want to thank you very much for watching.